Nagaville. Hey, that's all I could play. That's all I could play. That was just a sneak peek at a new track, man, dropping in the Tribe Up Music Archives, man. Love the Five Eyes, Dizzle Fitty, Yosef the Real, CJ, Battle, Nine, Spiral, man, Ahab, Natural, By Law, my noggin. Hey, man, always an honor, man, to tribe up with the real ones. I look forward to tribing up with so many, man. You know what I'm saying? There's so many knockers I want to, you know what I'm saying, spiral up with in real time, man. Hey, this that Nagaville, man. You know what I'm saying? Look out for Nagaville. Because that's all we're doing is building up Nagaville. Because ain't no one bought land for the Nagas in Nagaville. Ain't no one, you know, been able to tribe up Nagaville. Put the red and the blue together. Pop it off, man. For the Preston. They still searching for them. Hey, man, come up here and get cozy in the drop, chat. I dropped all the links. We gonna dig on, you know what I mean, right here in the chatter box. Ahab to the Bro Dragon Child, man. He's up in here, man. You know, hey, trying to donate Ahab to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Anybody after Shabbat can always hit us up on Cash App. 432 The Drop Radio on Cash App. 432 The Drop Radio on Cash App. Or hit our PayPal right there on the YouTube. Or, you know, hit us up. Music at 432thedrop.com. He said he sent the flag. Oh, yeah, man, he did a beautiful flag. I can't wait to showcase it, man. So I'm going to check my email, man. And yapa, man. I mean, it's all happening. Come get the drops. We're going to get a little drop within the drop. Go back to 2017 King drop. You know, we don't do that often, but only when it's good for us. Only when it's good for us. We're going to dig on, you know, what the hijack got to say about the doctrine of discovery. And, you know, check out, oh yeah, we're going to dig on spirit science again, man. You know, we haven't done that in a minute. Dug on some spirit science, man. We got the water flowing, Halal HaWah. So I'm taking it real easy over here, man. Hope you signing up with the real ones. Hope you popping off with the tribe. We're going to dig on the Kundalini, which, you know, is really cool. You know, the Kun is really cool. Once you realize the C's or the K's and the Q's are interchangeable. The Q's are the K's and the K's are the Q's. Kun, the N's and M's be interchangeable, man. The Kun is the Kun, man. The Kun. Oh, man, who's the Kun? I guess originally the Kun was the Kun. It's supposed to be rising. But they made it derogatory, like they do the con, like the pros and the con. It became pros and cons. Now the cons is derogatory. When the con is the priest, how you get the pros and cons? When the con is the priest. But the Kundalini is the Kum Dalana. Dalana. Da, the door, La, the shepherd staff. You rise through the door. You get your shepherd staff. You get your scepter. Nas for the Naga. Nas for the seed. The seed gets the scepter. Kum Dalana is when that dragon rises. And the rightful head becomes the rightful head. They tap it into your frequency, your vibration, searching for the priest con. Yeah, we're going to dig on some stuff for the Shabbat, but I really want to get back into that doctrine of discovery. You know, hit up the drop chat. The password is 1234 to get through the door. Come hijack free, man, and do your best, man, to, you know, spread honor to the Nagas. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is. You know, you come up in the drop chatter box, it's about honor. It's not about spilling out, you know, whatever your static is now, man. It's about giving the best of yourself. When you walk in Nagaville, you give the best of yourself. Dodge your own damn hijack. We ain't over here to dodge your hijack. We got our own hijack to deal with, man. We came over here to sign up. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you in trouble, you know what I mean? You need help, my nigga, that's different, But just, something, how it go. You know how it go. Do your best, man. To tune the tribe up like the bro Trakan Chow be doing. Asking great questions, man. The bro was dropping about the Star of David. Was it originally or was it not supposed to be anything good? And we're just talking about crystals. Look at that whole was it Yakamoto, Dr. Yakamoto, whatever his name is, the Japanese scientist that was freezing water and giving it positive energy, like giving it Ahab, saying I love you and all that. And then he was giving negative vibration to other water crystals, and they were forming just blobs of just utter distress. He just looked terrible. And the Ahab crystals, they were crystallizing, and many of these crystals form this six-pointed situation. So you see it evident in nature. It's not so much, oh, they're using the Star of David for this. What is the Star of David? It's in nature. You can't hate on nature. You can't hate on water and shapes. All these geometries, the hijack puts their intention on it. They come with different intentions, man. You can put your own intention on whatever crystal, because the crystal's going to be neutral. You're going to take the shape. It's neutral. Now, what intention is the hijack going to put on it? That's what they've done with our shapes, all these symbols. I look at all these hand signs and all this stuff, and people try to link different things to Baphomet, 666, da 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 da. A lot of these, man, you can't tell someone indigenous that's having a conversation with you that's just using natural hand gestures. Oh, that's a Baphomet. That's a this. That's a crit. That's a blood. That's your intention. You're putting a certain intention on that particular sign, but that sign can mean something positive if someone has a positive intention. One sign is not locked into negativity. One sign is not locked into positivity. It's your intention. One crystal, one shape, one geometric pattern. It's your intention behind it. How are you going to use it? Is the cube bad because they've hijacked the cube, which is really, symbolizing the earth plane as a platonic solid? As the platonic solid is just symbolizing earth. So they locked into earth, and they're now what? Controlling earth, but they're putting their intention on this platonic solid, this crystal. It doesn't mean the cube is bad. The cube is neutral. It's the intention that's put on this cube, or that's put on that triangle, or that pyramid. The pyramid itself is not good or bad. What intention is behind the vibration? And why is the king chamber in the Pyramid of Giza tuned to 440 hertz? Why 440, man, in the king's chamber in Egypt over there? Why 440, man? And why is all music tuned to 440 today? And why is there a pyramid on the back of our damn dollar bill? Okay, I'm just popping off. Hey, let's get cozy. Like I said, man, we don't normally do a feature within a feature. We're about to get into this doctrine of discovery. You know what I'm saying? Always got to get an Ahab to Alexander Williams, man. The bro Lex Will, man. So much for real inspiration, man. And, this is all we do is crystallize. You know what I'm saying? Something like this is something that we've been able to crystallize with. It's encouraged us to keep reading. You know what I mean? And I take that, and, we as Drop Nation, we as a tribe have continued to read. But, we had original, freedom fighters and Nagas on the front lines way back in 2015, 16, and all that. And if you weren't there for that wave, man, it was a spectacular wave. And some of us are still riding it. Have been, riding wave to wave, because you go to a beach, there's many waves, man. You just got to surf the wave. But it's all the same water, so it's not a separation, So there'll never be a separation from the inspiration from the bro Lex Will or the bro Let Us Find the Truth, coming with that Prisoners of War drop, that surname drop, building that library, and encouraging me personally to continue to build my own so that we have versatility and have, the information in different places, and that we can continue to spread the drop. So love to the bro Ed. Let us find the truth, man. I mean, that's my inspiration. The Hakan Higher Mark, making sure we were spiraling up with the Anasazi flow and really was a rock in real time, man, to push the line, to set up the first CUV, man, and, make it pop off, man, and just really, stand on, the originality of what this wave really is. It's going against all our common threads and, reforming and formulating with this flow, with this water, asking the right questions on the right investigation. And Hakan was always, a pertinent fire starter to make sure the fire can't burn it. And those are really my three, if anyone was to ask me, my inspirations, to become drop today. That's what I'll say, man. The Hakan Higher Mark, the bro Lex Will, and definitely the bro Let Us Find the Truth, and many more, man. All the ETH squad, man. You already know it, man. So, Halal HaWah for you. We're going to get on these doomed diverses. We're going to ask some questions about this year, 1452. Because instead of approaching this, look, man, they did this with due meditation, right? With due meditation. We're going to really, instead of just going through it quickly, really just meditate on this Papal bull, this bulldog. Get some different perspective about it. Maybe ask a few questions, maybe get some answers as to why. What are the Portuguese looking for? And why is there a Portuguese monument searching for Prester John? When you match these dates up, 1452, you got, yeah, man, this British Museum, 1530. Shabbat, let's go. I'm resting, man. I'm resting my voice for the Shabbat. 1530, British Museum, right? Bering Strait, Asia here, India Superior here, South America, which doesn't say South, right? It just says America. Because this part is connected to, it's still, Greater Asia. It's still what the Tartarians want to call Tartaria or Grand Tartaria. It's India Superior, man. And who's on this map holding down all this vortex connected with Khalifa, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, everything in between, Cathay, Mexico, Prester John, man. Blurry or not, we clearly see that's Prester John. In the British Museum, we can't let this go. These are receipts, man. These are receipts. See, when you got the drop, you don't got to keep getting new drop because your foundation is your foundation. Once we have a foundation, we can ask more questions, right? So right now it's about being foundational, man. It's a fourth wave, my nigga. We still surfing steady and we building up this frequency. The fourth wave is all about the build up, building up the energy as a tribe, not just wasting your energy, but really bouncing off and tuning up with the right nagas as we tribe up. So it's a long wave, if you're paying attention to time, but, the build up is manifested and, there ain't no time, man. You know what I'm saying? So, let it pop off, man. Prester John in the British Museum, 1530. Prester John, North America, or we just talking India Superior. So what are they searching for? Look out for Prester John. Installment 71. Wow. Installment 71. That means we got brand new Prester packs about to pop off, man. Prester pack 2. Look out for the Yosef pack, the Five Eyes Ma pack. We getting on it, you know what I'm saying? ASAPery. And it's going to be a great way to support the Ox individually, support their vision and everything they've been able to, do and everything they've done and continue to do as Eat the Squad. consistent cons for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? So support them, man. Support the flow. Support Tribe Up Music. Look out for us, man. All right. Who are the Portuguese searching for? We're going to ask these questions. Right now, we're going to belly flop back in 2017, you know. But remember these dates, 1452. Remember this face right here, man. Okay? Not that face, not that face. Nope, not that face. Oh, man, hold on. How'd I get to Hitler? How'd I get to these guys? You know who I'm looking for. You know who just can't get away. Always gotta slide his way through the back door. Yeah, they start talking about albino history, man. Love to real history. WW. Been doing it for a long time, giving us, you know what I'm saying, plenty of the drive. You know, you can surf the wave on his site and, you know, go for an entire joy ride. Shout out to Peculiar Joy. Shout out to Joy World. Man, I'm looking for King Charles, man. Y'all know who I'm looking for, man. It's a lot of drop on this link. Where's that picture of old Charles? Oh, who's that? Portrait of a wealthy black man, either Flemish or German. He's just a wealthy black man. You already know. It's a more on more war. How many Naga slaves did he have? Huh? Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, you know, we just gotta ask the right questions, man. Yeah, man. The Pussy crest on the floor of Santissimi. Okay. Yeah, man. You know, so what he's doing is really capturing the face of things. Oh, there we go. Probably Charles Canto, Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor. Now that you know that Rimman just means pomegranate in Hebrew, you know he can't be a real Roman. He's not a Rimani. He's not a pomegranate Naga of India Superior, is he? So you can't give our titles away to the hijack. Who's originally trying to take the Rimman title? He wants to be a Ramani. Is he a Ramani? Is he a Ramani? Is he connected with the Promised Land for real? Or is he a part of the invasion? He got his face on his own coin. Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. I need you to get this through your head bone as we investigate and pay attention to these numbers, these dates, 1500 to 1558. What's the date on this map? 1530. What do you got? Prester John, India Superior. So as they're popping off this map in the British Museum, now, today, 1530 is right in the wheelhouse. Right in the wheelhouse of Emperor Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, my love. This is what the Roman Empire looked like. This is what the Moabite looked like. Psalms 83, Confederacy. Yeah, man. Said to be Christopher Lemore. It's a more on more war. Entourage of Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, painted by the Dutch painter John Mustert, circa 1520. 1530. They knew what they was coming for. What you mean? Columbus got lost looking for India. You're in India Superior, right? This is South America. But now they call this North America. But before they didn't call it South or North America. Get it? Got it, my Naga? We in Nagaville. Hold up, man. You ever cruise through Nagaville? Saw a bunch of Nagas, KTC. Yeah, man. Outfire yourself in a natural. Hey, look here, man. That's all I could play, man. But we in Nagaville, man. Shout out to my Nagas in Nagaville. Y'all know I'm going crazy dropping these snippets. I'm ready to drop this joint, man. Look out for Nagaville. Tribe Up Music. Music for the tribe, by the tribe, in our vibe. Ain't no time, only the wave. They looking for Preston John and India Superior because North America don't exist. We already covered that. We've been there. I'm popping off, man. You want the old me, man? Go get the old drop. Want to pop off right now? Then surf the wave, man. Gotta be willing to let go. Empty your cup. 1520. Oldest painting of a black man in Europe. He talking about the European. The European. Yeah. The native Europeans. So who's the European? Who's the Aboriginal? Who's the original? Who's the first? Who's the first inhabitants of this country, of this land? Who is Prester John? In 1530, right? Got it. Because that original, who's the first, the copper color Naga, they were just found here by other copper color Nagas. But they are the Europeans, right? The native European. I mean, what's it say about Charles E? Oh yeah, I'm talking about Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. We're talking Rome. Who's ruling Rome? When Cristobal Colombo? You don't think Cristobal looked like this too? Christ of Ophir is Christopher. Christ of Ophir is Christopher. Christ of Ophir. Where's Ophir? Haiti? Wow. Christ of Ophir is Christopher. Where'd Christopher go? Haiti? He's the Christ of Ophir. Got it. Who's Esteban? Who's St. Stephen? Who is hijacking? I mean, look at all these hijacks, right? These are supposed to be rolling with Charles, and then see how they iconoclast the paintings. Look how they're supposed to be, this deep, so-called dark brown, ruddy. But then they painted them over, and now the paint is chipping away, and you can see that these are ruddy Nagas hijacking the Inca line. Now, we don't know, there's a connection possibly between these Inca and Genghis Khan's people when they, went to war with Prester John. Perhaps these are descendants of those particular Batu Khans and them. But, what we do know is that Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, came with the hijack. And these melanated Nagas were hijacked by other melanated Nagas. Now, could they have been, through Genghis Khan, a part of the same family? Maybe he felt he had a right. I don't know. The jury's still out. We're still digging on these Inca as it relates to the Aztec and, you know what I'm saying, all the flow, the Hohokam flow, the Anasazi flow. But it does look like Charles Quinto is a European. This panel, the painting in the Larco Museum in Lima, Peru, depicting the Inca emperors. This panel shows the last 7 Inca emperors and the first European emperor, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. So again, who's the European? Who is the mother? Man, Shabbat Shalom, man. Who's the European, man? Who's the European? Right, so, okay. So this don't let so-called white people off the hook for the invasion at all. But you got to understand and understand, for those that were, rocking in that frequency, they're created by these people. Not all, but many, some at least, a part of that particular biological, chemical, war that was put on the Naga with the Black Plague, bottled up in the form of these beings. Who created them? You know what I'm saying? What happened with this Yakub situation, so-called, Trying to give Yakub a bad name. Trying to duplicate, Yaakov, Jacob, right? So, come on, man. Hijack City. You can't make this stuff up. This is what's happening in the 1400s. Managa, look at this, man. I can't make this up. This tells you everything you need to know. So how do you get to white America, man? In such a short period of time? What, Declaration of Independence? Or was it some type of cahoots? We'll fade to black. You take center stage as the landlords of our corporations. You run our businesses. You be the presidents, vice presidents. We'll sit back and explore more lands beyond the pole. Do more hijacking. I don't know. I don't know, man. Just seemed like a whole lot of hijack going on, man. What they call her, Mama something. You see her? This nog in the middle. That's why I say I want to take my time with this, man. I go pretty fast sometimes, but I want to look at this stuff, man. We're gonna read about who these guys are supposed to be. You see the line of the Inca. One of them is Tupac Attack, man. Rest in power, Pac. You know what I mean? And then you see the hijack, straight up hijack, right? The European. Now look how they're painted or repainted. They tried to repaint these Europeans, into some type of lack of melanin, melanin deficient scenario, which you see the painting wearing off, and that they're all copper colored Nagas. They are the European. They are the subsequent European emperor. It begins with Manco Capac, and the legendary first Sapa Inca, top left side, and his sister Mama Hawako, top right side. This painting also depicts Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, Charles Quinto, as the first European emperor. Got it. So, American. A native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races, copper-colored Nagas, found here by the Europeans. What Europeans? The same damn Europeans in this painting, man, that they tried to repaint as so-called whites. But look at them closely. Let's look at these jabronis on the bottom here. Look at the painting. Look at this jabroni over here. Look at his forehead. His forehead is a dark tone copper colored knot, right? And they tried to paint white on his noggins, right? Or did they just get burnt in the fire? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm talking about? So, come on, man. Carlos Segundo, Felipe Quinto, all these are niggas, right? These are all niggas, right? Niggas that came to hijack some knockers. We just thinking black and white. But black is white. Damn. Shit is crazy. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, man. It's crazy. Stuff is crazy. It begins with Manco Capac and his sister. Kind of sounds like Moses and Miriam a little bit, a little tinge to it. And they say this is Manco to the far left. Okay. And this is his sister over here. Let's get that bigger if we can. All right, see Manco. Now, that name Manco kind of sounds like the Mangi or Mongo. Mongo or Mangi. At least one of them under that title is connected with the Batu Khan scenario. So that's why, we're connecting this. If this was a scenario where this was a Genghis Khan connection, remember Genghis Khan is also a melanated man. And this is kind of his first families, in the promised land type of thing popping off. And they kind of came with their own thing, you know what I'm saying? These Inca a little bit from what I know so far, but, we empty our cup, man, because we all got to admit that we know very little, you know what I'm saying? You got his sister right here, they call her what? Mama Hawako. Hawako. Okay. I don't know. You know what I mean? Could it be that, or could it be a Moshe and Miriam flow? Straight Israelites popping off. It seems like they got some priest king scenario in the middle, right?
Wow.
Halal HaWah. Okay. All right. I just want you to know what a European looks like. A European emperor. I just want you to know what a European looks like. So those that claim European descent today, you're not European. You know what I'm saying? You were maybe created by these original Europeans. We don't know. It's not our job to figure you out. It's not our job to figure all people, all hijack stuff out. You know what I'm saying? We just know that we were found here and that we are copper color of Grandma Penny. And that some Europeans found us, and now we can, understand what a European looks like. Again, we're just talking Charlesy boy. Oh, Charlesy boy. Holy Roman Emperor Charlesy boy. Get a look at him, man. He's so proud. So proud of himself for slaying all these Nagas in the promised land. To be a conqueror. Oh, Charlesy boy. What they call him again? Oh, yeah. Now he wants the scepter. What name they give him? Christos. So he's another Christ, right? Another Christ. Lemor. Come on, man. All right, man. Don't mind us for popping off, because this is all new to us. Maybe y'all knew this for a long time. For us, we were told differently. For us, we were given a different depiction of things. You gotta be patient with Nagas and Nagaville as we pop off and see what it really looks like. And it don't excuse anybody, that was a part of this invasion, whatever complexion you are. But this lets us know that all kinfolk ain't confolk, and that they've been searching for the con. They've been searching for the con in America, man. This is Christopher getting lost. We're talking about the sovereigns, right? The royals, which just reminded me a little bit before we really meditate on this doomed verses. It reminded me a little bit about this, King Drop 2017 drop, man. Had to, bring it back for a stack, man. You know what I'm saying? Fall back, they're gonna talk some sovereignty, some citizenship, and 48 sea laws, Admiralty sea laws, And we're going to try to put this together because this is that, more Moabite system. You know what I'm saying? This Admiralty situation, this conquering, this Amexem. You know what I'm saying? We are in the promised land. You can't Amexem us. You can't Amexem the Nagas and Nagas superior, man. India superior. This shit gotta stop. Because if you don't see it through the eyes of the creator of the entire earth plane, then your whole entire perspective is whack. But let's see what we can get out of this drought from a few years ago, tied into the doomed diverses, and just pop off, man. Talk some QUM, dalini.
You sign any of those contracts which are represented by a legal fiction set up in your name, then you yourself are bound by those rules, bound by those regulations, because you did that. You consented to being governed by that. So in order to remove yourself from that, you have to dissolve those contracts. Sometimes they make it seem mandatory that you must comply, and it's just the language that's being used. That's one thing you want to become very wary of, is the language that they use.
Spells.
If I was to ask you, how do you define person, what would the normal definition of in our community be for that word, human being? And if we take a look at the dictionary, it says a human being regarded as an individual. That's what we would normally view the word person to be. In law, now we're using their words whenever you're dealing with corporations and the government and all that kind of stuff. Person means an individual or incorporated group having certain legal rights and responsibilities. Not a human being regarded as an individual, but as an individual or corporation. So they actually said, compare artificial person and natural person. So I did. So I looked it up and I compared them. Artificial person, a legal entity, not a human being. Natural person. A natural person is a human being that has the capacity for rights and duties. Just because you have the capacity doesn't mean that you're going to use your free will to exercise them.
Wow.
You have the capacity for rights and duties, but it's up to you to exercise them.
Wow. Natural.
I actually found the legal dictionary that they use in the U.S. So every time they argue about the definition of a word, it's a volume that's as long as my arms of books. So by curiosity, I look up the word person. And on each page, there was probably, I would estimate, about 15 different definitions with each court case. And the word person ran for around 250 pages. So there's literally thousands of different definitions for the word person. How can anybody possibly learn all that in order to protect yourself? Well, part of the Magna Carta states that to none will we sell or deny a right or a justice. Well, what that means is that if you want to exercise your rights and you want to have justice, they can't sell it to you. They sure do now. It costs you hundreds of dollars an hour to hire a lawyer just so you can get justice.
Sometimes there are things that are more important than bread and butter. Just what, for instance? The right to think for yourself. This is a free country where nobody can set themselves up as absolute.
You know what, man? As I watch this King Drop 2017, you know what I mean? Get all this drop chatter. Just listen to their verbiage. You know, this jabroni in a hat. He says, just listen closely.
Wow. They sure do now. It costs you hundreds of dollars an hour to hire a lawyer just so you can get justice.
Sometimes there are things that are more important than bread and butter. Just what, for instance? The right to think for yourself. nobody can set themselves up as absolute ruler.
Nobody can set themselves up as absolute ruler, but you're looking for Prester John. You see this Hippocratic BS, you know what I'm saying? India superior. There ain't no Khan. Now because we the Khan, there ain't no ruler. Now because we are the head, you know what I'm saying? Now because we are the superior Nagas in Nagaville, suddenly America ain't got no order. It's just empty, savage shit. They're the civilizers. Now you ain't got no Khan, you ain't got no priest. There ain't nothing wrong with order. Ain't nothing wrong with having a Khan, my Nagi, if the Khan is leading you to the wall, to the creator. You got a Khan, that Khan better be leading you to the creator. Only. Halal HaWah. Now, we ain't got no order in America, in India superior. Now, you know, it's just all about this freedom. These people just wanted freedom. These people, they were promised freedom, right? 4th of July, 1776, because they weren't free. Why else would they be so excited about freedom? It wasn't about taxes, man. That's the hogwash. They wanted freedom from black-ass King Charles, man. Charles Quinto, the Roman Emperor. Who came after this? Black-ass King James? 6 and 11 King James version, man? By the time they get to the 1700s, man, he's like, man, we want freedom. Now they want some freedom, huh? Now you want some freedom? Now it's a free country. Now it's all about free.
You like to think for yourself?
Think for yourself.
This is a free country where nobody can set.
So they didn't even have the right to think for themselves where they came from.
Set themselves up as absolute ruler and force other people to do their bidding.
And now that's exactly what they do for us. Mandatory this, mandatory that, stay at home this. Bullshit, man. Look at how the 48 sea laws of power have, you know, revealed themselves in battle time.
As the country grows, more and more you will find men and women marching and fighting side by side.
So at the revolution, the sovereignty devolved on the people, and they are truly the sovereigns of the country. But they are sovereigns without subjects, with none to govern but themselves. The citizens of America are equal as fellow citizens. And this was a U.S. case in, 1793. So every U.S. individual is sovereign if they knew about it and if they hadn't gotten hooked into the corporate game that's being played out. So, a sovereign, a person, body, or state vested with independent and supreme authority. So, if you're sovereign, does that mean that somebody else has authority over you? No.
Hell no.
You have the supreme authority.
And if you're sovereign and have supreme authority, then can anybody else tell you who you are? By registering to another power, does that tell you who you are and give you sovereignty and power to claim a title? Does it make you sovereign or a slave? Hey, King Drop 2017 been popping off for a long time, man. Hey, hop to the balcony surface.
No authority over you. They're your servants, okay? But what they do is they try to get you into a contract so that you contract away your rights so that they then have authority over you. Asking for a driver's license, insurance, and registration. You give it to them, that's a contract.
Right.
You then gave them authority.
Now, we know how this shit works because they don't hire people that are that just sometimes. So sometimes you could say, yeah, well, have authority not to give you this, and then you end up with a car full of bullets if you from the streets where we from. Bang. So now you're in, sort of a here or there. What do I do? And that's the scenario and the quandary and the quack. And that's that thing about it, man. That's the thing about it when it comes to the sovereignty stuff, is that we get it, we see how the Moorish laws tie into it because it's really their system. They know a lot about it. They're very educated on their own system, little, things in between. But it's contract after contract after contract, man. Can't no paperwork save us out of captivity. Only HaWah, only the Creator, only KTC keeping your code. And that's not religious. That's the code, man. That's the code. You see how they got it back once a Naga starts being in code? You see this frequency popping off. You see these dragons. You see these volcanoes popping off, man. Yeah, man. Ain't no tribal passport gonna save you. Ain't no new status as a white gonna save you. None of this shit. But how they flip it is, they want Nagas to be popping off to these popo and be like, nah, man, I don't have to make a contract with you. My corporate representation. And it don't work like that for us. So stop the play. These are bullies. It's a war going on. You know what I'm saying? Be educated, obviously. But don't act like this is just going to work for the average Naga per se. You know what I'm saying? Learn the laws. Learn all they game. Learn Hijackville 101. But if you think this white privilege ain't in full effect, you know what I'm saying? Please think again, Be careful. And, just know that you're up against an entire, Hijackville got an army, man. You know what I'm saying? Hijackville got an army. Nagaville, guess what? You popping off too. And it's your time. Quagmire of our people that's been our trap and our snare. What do you do? Because the people that are ruling you are not just ruling with the solution alone. They're ruling with the gun. They're ruling by force. They're not just tricking you. They're also putting you down in the streets, cowboys and Indians. If you go and research the original wars of this country up until what? The late 1800s?
Check 'em
got
out.
nothing but Indian wars,
Check 'em
so-called. People that they're putting under this corporate status of India. Not who they are, their titles. Their sovereignty. But yeah, it's good to know that this is a contract. So they're giving you a contract question as soon as they roll up on it.
Then they can do whatever they want to.
And they can do whatever they want. Sovereign or slave.
We elected to take responsibility and accountability for anything that should happen. As we should, because it's our building. And we're building it. So we essentially went ahead with it and waited for the county to say something. About 3-4 months into the project, we received a letter. That letter essentially indicated that we noticed that there's some development. Please stop the development until you fill in a development permit. Well, I had been studying my human rights for a couple of years at that point, so I sent them a letter essentially outlining that I am a individual, not a person or corporation, and that you don't have jurisdiction over anything that I do, and that your letter also indicated that if I sign this, you have permission to come on our property. So that implies that you currently don't have permission to come on our property. So I essentially told them, you're going to have to provide me with the proof of your claim that I have to follow the guidelines of the Municipality Act, and they do not have permission to come onto our property.
Wow. That's real important, man. I mean, this is really the reason why I wanted to tune back to 2017 on a night. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as we build our joy world, as we build our flow, you know, without getting heavy into some paperwork scenario, you know what I'm saying? But really, you know, getting a wall of protection, you know what I'm saying? Every way we, you know, every single opportunity that we got as a tribe, man, to be solid. I just want to be solid. You know what I'm saying? I want to know, you know what I mean? If we can cut off the hijack at that particular angle, you know what I mean? Whatever the case is, we got to cut them off in every single way. You know what I'm saying? So we know we got some real intelligent Nagas in Nagaville, you know what I mean? When it comes to land, when it comes to the flow, that can help protect us, you know, legally this and whatever the case is. But either way, we KTC and we rocking steady, man. You know what I'm saying? But we want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, the hijack don't got, you know, more privileges than they deserve. You know what I mean? So, you know I got some real, you know, super Nagas out there in Nagaville, and we're gonna get all that stuff straight. This is only the beginning. We just getting started. We're just popping off, and it's an honor. It's a true honor in Drop Nation to pop off with you. It's an honor to pop off with you. Every drop I do, it's an honor, man. You know what I'm saying? It's been an honor since the balcony. It's been a passion since then. And we're going to, you know, keep creating. You know what I'm saying? Keep the passion flowing. Look out for Nagaville, you know, as a song, but just look out for Nagaville in general. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be coming with our own film, you know, our own images, you know what I'm saying? Our own life, you know what I mean, that we can, you know, capture and just, you know, push that frequency, those teachable moments, them drop moments, you know what I'm saying, just push it forward through great original, you know what I'm saying, characters and flow and, you know, just something entertaining but yet educating, man. Just in our films, our flow, like all of us got that creativity in us, you know what I'm saying? We got our land, we gonna pop off, man. Just incredible visuals, incredible fashion, MHOE, Mem Sauce, Nagaville. We popping off. Look out for us. Look out for the books. Look out for the films. Look out for the music and the music videos and everything that we want to give as images of Nagaville. Right from our land, my Naga. That's what we stepping into. We taking it all over, man. Not high fashion, love to my jigger. Most high fashion. Let's go, man. We created our own fashion genre. Most high fashion. MHOE. Dripping in that mem sauce. We created our own music genre. Tribal music. You tell me that we ain't got no Amas cooking? Love to QUM. You tell me Amas not all in this, man? You telling me we ain't got the water flowing? Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Let me Zan. We just popping off. 2017 King Drop. Take the wheel.
Wow.
That's how you use
later, the tax assessor showed up. And I asked him, well, are you here as an agent of the county? And he said, yes. And I said, well, can you tell me which parts of the act that your authority comes from? And so he told me, and I said, tell you what, let me look those up and I'll get back to you. And he was quite reasonable. He agreed with that and he left without any incident. So I looked up the act and found out that he had to give me, you know, reasonable notice. And because he was an agent, I had already told the county that they didn't have permission to come on the property. So I had grounds for several charges, if I wanted to, of trespassing and breach of the Municipality Act against this guy. So I confronted him on it. The final result was I got a letter from the minister indicating that I had several good points in my letter and that he encouraged me to settle my dispute with the county, and he essentially washed his hands of the whole thing. And I haven't heard from the county since. They've left me alone now for 2 years. I can't have freedom unless I also recognize that I have a duty. And I have a duty to share with people what I've learned from not only the legal aspect, but also the spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical freedoms that I've been working on. I felt that part of my duty was to start getting out there and start teaching this.
It's amazing, right? With freedom comes responsibility.
Yes, sir. Stand by for operation of the time machine. Yes, sir. Where to this time, Captain? Back to the year 1215. King John of England. Yes, sir.
Everybody's familiar with Robin Hood. King John, the tyrant, was actually real. The problem with King John is that he did not know how to fight a war, and he had no land to his name. So he ran to the Pope in 1213 and asked Pope Innocent III for some help. And what he did is he actually turned over the whole Kingdom of England to
As I keep watching this, it's a lot of parallels, a lot of phantoms, and a lot of duplications. That's the bread, Yosef the real. I mean, they talking 1213 like we don't know about the 1200s, man. Like we don't know that Prester John, King John, was just invaded by Genghis Khan in 1202, 1203. So you're saying 8 years later, you got another King John who's losing power, and this Pope takes him over, and this Magna Carta is now formed out of this duress scenario where under duress he signs off this, scenario that should not be valid if it's under duress, but yet they're still using it as the foundation of their constitution and all the other shit under duress, which is why they keep you under duress. Phantoms and duplication.
to the Pope in return for support from the Pope so that he could fight his wars. So that little document essentially turned King John into the Pope's vassal, which means that he promised to be loyal to the Pope, and the Pope then owned everything in England. A couple years later, his barons, quartered him and stuck a knife to him and said, "You know what? We're not happy with the way you're treating us. We want you to sign this Magna Carta."
That if I sign this, I shall be no king. You have given me 24 overlords. These 24 will see that you carry out the terms of the Magna Carta. You have no choice, King John, but to sign.
So the Magna Carta was the basis of English law.
That's right, Jim. And the basis of American law as well. The English Magna Carta became the model for the American Bill of Rights.
This is the founding document for our human rights within our country, within Great Britain, within the United States, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, any crown colony. Their legal systems are based on this document. But he was doing it at night point. He's under duress. Is that a legal contract? No. So I have a question. If it was under duress and this is not a legal contract, then how can they possibly continue using this document as the basis for our legal system?
Bang. How can they do any of this shit? I mean, I gotta speak on what it is. Look at this, man. Meditate on it. That's why I got the water flowing, because I'm gonna need it. HaWah, we in Hijackville. We gonna need it. Nagaville versus Hijackville. Let's go. So for those that are new to the Wave Search, there's a Papal bulldog. Papal bulldogs to take down all y'all. Ravishing mammals issue Vatican papals, tricking Adam and Eve to buy the Vatican apple. Back when mountains was trees, we was feeling like Rambo. Back when mountains was trees, can you feel the breeze? This ain't make believe. Backward mountains was trees, silicon crystal umbilical, giant trees severed fold, digital, framer in the shape of all the maker, giant force, fallen angel rapers, Papal bulldog to take down all y'all, lasso two hogs, they fed to they dogs, Papal bulldogs, doomed diverses, June 18, 1452, Pope Nicholas V, right? Because the Pope now is getting the power from the Prester, right? But Pope means Prester. So right here you're in a duality where they went from Prester John, who they were looking for, right? Prester John, who they were looking for. Did a black man discover the fountain of youth? Prester Juan. Did a black man, Copper Color Khan, did a Copper Color Khan have the drop on the fountain of youth? El Prester Juan. Because only for the last 500 years did they start looking over here in America, the New World, right? Which begs me to, put a couple of different theories together. If you didn't know it was over here and you just started looking over here in the last 500 years, then who were you searching for 500 years? Only in the last 500 years did they start looking over here in America for the fountain of youth. Managa, the water, not fake Christian baptism, real living water that turns you and your whole crew back to the age of 32. What it do? Nagaville. What man do you search for 500 years? Unless he has the water. That water. Is this why you KTC, see Kawa, and search for Dawi? And then in the last 500 years, they stopped searching. They just stopped searching in the 1600s. They just stopped searching. Why? Why, man? Why, man? While most of us associate the fountain of perpetual youth with America, especially Florida, or India Superior. Again, 1548. Look at the dates. Check the dates, my nigga. I think we zeroing in on when the hijack started duplicating things. This is 1530. British Museum. India Superior. Prester John right here in North America. Prester John covering all this mass of land. Must be the Khan. Grand Kanya Khan. India Superior. Prester John land would be right here where Cathay is, Cathayo, just like this British Museum map has Cathay right here. Prester John, India Superior, Cathay. Got it. That's 1530. This is 1548. India Superior, Cathay. Look at Manji. I asked, is this Manji the same as the Manko or Manki, or how they say it over here? Who's these guys on the top of the page, right? Who's these guys here? Popping it off with the Inca? Manco. right? You know how them G's and C's be interchangeable and them vowels ain't nothing. Monko can be Mongi or Monji. It's an Inca Khan. Look how respected and venerated this Khan is. And you see him right here on the map, representing the Inca well. But this Mongi is also Monku or Mongol, which also connect with the Batu Khan line. So this could be a line that Genghis Khan set up after he invaded El Prester John, right? In India Superior. They had a battle at Tangu, somewhere around here. Here it has Tangu right here. And we're just saying, to the black man, to the black man, to the black man, to the black man. Did the Naga have the found in you? And is this the priest king? And is it a coincidence that this Naga with the fountain of you that you just started searching for, or you've been searching for, but suddenly you only started looking for this fountain of perpetual youth in the new world, as has only been the case for the last 500 years. So somehow when you found India Superior, you started zeroing in on the new world to look for not just Prester John, but the fountain of youth. Okay. Found here by the Europeans, right? These copper Nagas, right? And they see you today, they want to say you're this and you're that. They don't want to say you're a descendant of King David. The Hebrews, Columbus brought a Hebrew interpreter to speak to. Let me just ask you a question. Are you a homeborn slave? Is Israel a homeborn slave? Shabbat Shalom, we just popping off. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Spoiled meaning that all your things are gone, right? All your stuff is gone. God, I can't make this stuff up. We weighing all in singular the premises with due meditation, and noting that since we have formally by other letters of ours granted among other things free and ample faculty to the aforesaid King Alfonso to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, and subdue all Saracens and pagans whatsoever and other enemies of Christ wheresoever placed in the kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, dominions, possessions, and all movable and immovable goods whatsoever held and possessed by them, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery. Stop. What's a person? Didn't we just get in the King Drop 2017 that there's a lot of definitions for this person? It's not so much a human being as it is your artificial as an artificial person or your corporation, huh? Are they kind of giving you the wing wham that they're putting your corporation into slavery? And once you break free out of this straw man corporation, you know what I'm saying, that perhaps you're out of their perpetual bondage? I don't know. We also know they're ruling with the gun. So you might be out of that, but you're still getting pulled over by Johnny one time, you know? I'm just asking, are you a perpetual slave? What is perpetual? What is an American? Copper color race is original first. Well, what's perpetual? 1828 American Dictionary. Perpetual. Never ceasing. Are you a never ceasing slave? A continuing forever slave? Are you a continuing forever and future time slave? Are you a slave that's destined to be a eternal slave? That would make you a perpetual slave, and that you have a perpetual covenant Just like we just got, this covenant, this contract, is something that we're agreeing to. Is that what Kanye was saying? Where it's a choice. It's a choice to agree to this perpetual servitude, even if it means old school revolution, Nat Turner style revolution. If we don't choose that, then we're making a choice to be a perpetual slave, never ceasing, continuing forever, even in future time, forever, eternal, continuing without intermission, permanent, fixed, not temporary, which is crazy because the temporary wants to put us in perpetual slavery. The temporary people with the temporary quasi-kingdom wants to put real perpetual original Nagas that are in a perpetual code of their creator into perpetual servitude, slavery for them, and to make a perpetual covenant. But we don't put no power before our power. Exodus 20 got us in code. So how can we be in a perpetual covenant with anything other than our framer and shaper? Because you chose other gods, other powers, other covenants, Israel has become a homeborn slave. Because you chose them other powers, you are now never ceasing, continuing forever in future time, eternally a slave. And that's what they're meaning in the dumbass diverses. That when they invade you, search, who are they searching for? Come on, man. Can't make this up. I'm not drawing these maps, man. Someone had this same vision. Someone was on the same investigation. Was it Marco Polo or Marco Paul? I love to tie it back. We're just talking Paul. Is Marco Polo the author of a lot of these Paul books of the New Testament? Is Marco Polo the Paul of the New Testament? He sure is riding with Genghis Khan, and Genghis Khan sure seems to be, connected with this Christ of Ophir, Reflections, duplication. Who is Prester John? Who are they searching for? Where are they searching? Yeah. Who's a Saracen? We heard the word Saracen, right? A Saracen's head. So these Saracens got mama, right? Because Vitrix Fortuna, Sapientia. Wisdom is the conqueror of fortune. Amma, they got Amma's cooking, love to the bread, Kwame. So, all right, we got mama's cooking going on because wisdom is the conqueror of fortune. They call it a Saracen's head, yet we're just talking about the Rus. And these Rus, these Saracens that they want to connect to Arab, can't be connected there when they're connected to the lost tribes of Israel. So stop the play. Lost tribes of Israel are the tribes of Israel, and this is who you were at war against, Moabite. This is who you're hijacking. This is who the European is. European. Found here by the European, right? So during this Papal bull, would you like me to believe Charles Kento? I mean, you were born 1500. He would say, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. He's born 50 years after this 1452. Should we believe that 50 years after the doomed diverses, suddenly the Roman Empire turned black? Suddenly, after this doomed diverses, the Roman Empire turned into a black empire. Suddenly, these blacks just got some usurped power and became emperor and ruler of Rome and got their face on the coins. Huh? He just came out of nowhere. Let me take over these white castles. Cracker castles. Take these cracker castles. What? Is this new or were they already rocking 50 years earlier, 50 years before the birth of Charles? He's coming from a line, a family, a heritage of Psalm 83 Confederacy against Israel, against these guys, right? Which is why they're labeled the Saracen. You can't have it both ways. Wow, you can't have your rulership and not claim responsibility for what's happening in 1452. Why are you still searching for the priest king? This is popping off. You're trying to put someone in a perpetual slavery, man. Unbelievers of who? Christ or Muhammad? They put Muslims in parentheses because it's not actually there. They're interjecting their conjecture into this Saracen business that we see clearly covers a wide range of Naga heads in Nagaville. Saracen is another general term like Moor, like black, like African American, all these general terms, man. But if you are the head of the Saracen and you got mama rocking with you and your fortune, you are the real royals. And just understanding this Russia situation and, just hearing all this connection between how Russia's, way close to the North Pole and all this. I mean, it must be a vortex thing. It must be a reason why Nagas had to hold it down over there. There's a whole other vortex popping off, you know what I'm saying, from California to the Rus and Russia and all that. And just look how it all connects, man. So this will be Russia to your left. All right. Here's Cali. Come on, man. It's the same Nagas. It's not like way over there. It's connected here. We got to change our perspective. I mean, they gave us the drop in 1530 in the British Museum. And they gave us the drop again in 1548. Look how Florida just connects to Greenland, man. All the way over. It connects on both sides. It's just one land. So you're talking about Prester John of India Superior, Emperor of the three Indias. This Prester Juan, three Indias. But are you a home-born slave? Hey, shout out to Ube Motiga. Got this great drop, Medicine Power. I'll leave the link. I already dropped it in the drop chatter. Chat. Let's read some Jeremiah. Tribe up. Moreover, the word of HaWah came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says HaWah, I remember thee, the kindness of your youth, the love of your espousals, when you went after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Israel was holiness unto HaWah, and the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, says HaWah. Hear you the word of HaWah, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus says HaWah, what iniquity have your fathers found in me, that they are gone far from me, and have walked after vanity, and are become vain. Neither said they, Where is HaWah that brought us out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that no man passed through, and where no man dwelt. And I brought you into a plentiful country to eat the fruit thereof, and the goodness thereof. But when you entered, you defiled my land. This is HaWah laying the full accusation down, man. Alright. This is the issue, Managa. We defiled the land and made my heritage an abomination. The priest said not, Where's HaWah? The cons weren't checking for the creator. And they that handled the law knew me not. They weren't KTC. The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal. No power before your power, and walked after things that do not profit. Wherefore I will yet plead with you, said HaWah, and with your children's children will I plead. For pass over the isles of Shittim, and see and send into Kedar, and consider diligently, and see if there be such a thing. Hath a nation changed their gods? We keep asking this question. When has a hijack as a nation ever changed? When has a hijack changed their gods? When we say that they brought Jupiter with them, Zeus with them, this is your Yahweh, your Yeshua, your Christ, your JC. Same story, same super nigga, right? But when has a group of hijack, a nation, changed their God? When have they changed? They have the same powers that you call on in all these different languages, which are yet no gods. So call it out. When has a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which does not profit. You had glory. You were the head, not the tail. Be astonished, O you heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be you very desolate, says HaWah. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living water. That water, man. The fountain. The job of your priest king, the prester, is only to lead you to the water. The water is HaWah. HaWah is the water. Mama is the mem sauce, man. Come on, man. The same water, the same fountain. Whoever drinks of its water 3 times without having eaten, man, we talking fasting, right? Love to Yohana time. Will have no illness for 30 years. No tenderoni. Why do we need a vaccine when we have water to drink? when we have water, drinks of its water, my naga? Where's this water today? And do you think it's play? And when he has drunk of it, he will feel as if he has eaten the finest meat and spices, for it is full of HaWah's grace. A person who bathes in this fountain, HaWah is the fountain. I mean, this fountain could just, be symbolic for just being KTC and connecting directly with HaWah. You got that water. Or we got real water that we need to be bathing in. Whether he be of 100 or 1,000 years old, will regain the age of 32. This is the real baptism the Christians stole, because they don't want to talk about the real water that turn your ass back to 32, man. Come on. Know that we were born and blessed. Who? We were born. This is not David by himself. This is David with the tribe. This is the Mashika. We were born in Baruch, in the womb of our mother, 562 years ago. Who are they searching for 500 years? I can't make this stuff up, my nugget. It's right in our face, bro. Where were they searching? America? That's when they started looking over here for the fountain of youth, only in the last 500 years, right? Who else is over here with it? Born 562 years ago. And since then, we have bathed in the fountain 6 times. In other words, Preston John was letting readers know that by the miracle of the fountain of youth, he was 562 years old and going strong. Not just him. We were born. Who were they searching for? Not just the Preston, but all the Nagas and Naga superiors that became prisoners of war, love to let us find the truth. But are you a homeborn slave? A Naga? Is Israel a homeborn slave? Be astonished, O you heavens. I'm in Jeremiah. We're in Jeremiah chapter 2. Pick it up right here in verse 12. Be astonished, O you heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be you very desolate, says HaWah. For my people have committed 2 evils. They have forsaken. That means you have left HaWah with no connection. You left it with no connection. You forsaken me, the fountain of living water. Who got the water? We were born and blessed in the womb of our mother 562 years ago. Who got the water? Who got the drop on the fountain of you? This is a shepherd. Priest King Preston John. That's why we on installment number 71. 71 parts. Look out for Preston Pack 2. You've been sitting solitary many days without a con. Because before that, you were playing the harlot, just like we're getting in Jeremiah 2. You forsaken HaWah. Because you turned to other gods. Is Israel a homeborn slave? Is Israel a harlot? So I said unto her, this harlot, thou shalt sit solitary for me many days. I'm going to put you in timeout. You shall not play the harlot. You shall not be any man's wife, nor will I be thine. You ain't going to be married to no more hijack. You ain't going to be married to no more hijack. I'ma shake stuff up around here, man. You ain't gonna be nobody's harlot. For the children of Israel shall sit solitary many days without a king. Who are they searching for, my naga? This popped off the Crusades. They're looking for the priest king. Prester means priest. John means king. Priest, king. Melchi, Zedek. Uh-oh. Who is Prester John? He got the drop on the fountain. He got the drop on the fountain, man. Oh, Prester Juan got the drop on the fountain. Who's looking for him? Looking at him. He's searching. He's looking. Charles Kento wants to know who else he can hijack, right? Who else he can jump in between? That's what Charles would want to know. Who else can I hijack? Should I hijack the priest king and the children on the land of the priest king? The real Nagas of Nagaville? This ain't no new world, Jack. This ain't no new world. We went many days without a Khan, without a prince. Who's prince forever? Shabbat Shalom. Halal HaWah. And David, my servant, shall be their prince forever. And my servant David, Prester John, priest king, shall be king over them. But you went all this time without a king. But in the future, after you are no longer two kingdoms that are divided anymore, you're no longer, you ain't playing the harlot no more. They don't defile themselves anymore with their idols. You don't forsake HaWah. HaWah will cleanse you. So shall they be my people, and I will be their power. And my servant David in these days, in the end of days, shall be king over them. There's no confusion as to who is taking the wheel, who HaWah has appointed as what? They shall have one shepherd. Who's the one shepherd? Yahushua, Jesus, son of David? No. David shall be king over them. David is being raised up again. David is being raised up again. One shepherd. They're going to walk in my ordinances, KTC, observe my statutes, KTC, and do them, KTC. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, they and their children, and their children's children, forever. And David, Prester, priest king, my servant shall be their prince forever. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace. This is your new covenant, not no New Testament with JC. That's a hijack. This is your new covenant of peace, Shalom, which means you hijack free. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. I will establish them, multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forever. My dwelling place also shall be over them, and I will be their power, and they shall be my people. And the nations shall know that I am HaWah, that sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forever. And while HaWah is in your midst forever, who is your prince forever? David is your prince forever. David, who HaWah is raising up in the end of days. Look out for Preston 71. We litty in Drop City. Oh, we litty in Drop City, man. Shalom, we in Nagaville. What did Jeremiah say? Jeremiah, you, but they shall serve HaWah their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. So the Prester's being searched for then, and the Prester needs to be searched for today, because King David is clearly returning. King Dawid is clearly being raised up again. Not JC, not the duplication that don't exist. We ain't talking Jupiter, man. We're talking Hosea 3, Jeremiah 30, Ezekiel 37. And this is why you search. After you've gone all these many days without a king, solitary, without a king, without a khan, without a prince, who's prince forever. You don't need no sacrifice, because you the sacrifice now, my nigga. But afterwards shall the children of Israel return. Okay, now you popping off, you KTC, you MHOE, you dripping in that mem sauce. You seeking HaWah, which means you are seeking the code of HaWah. You listening, you ain't no harlot no more. No idols. No idols, right? And now you got the 360 dragonfly perspective. And you begin to search for David, their king. The same David who's being raised up in Jeremiah 30. The same David who's the one shepherd forever, prince forever. Because you went all this time without a prince. But now your prince has returned. You KTC with HaWah. You seek, you meditate on the code, the law, the creator. And now here comes this David awareness that you see. This is what they're searching for. Press the one who has the drop on the fountain. The same fountain that they've been writing about. We were born and blessed in the womb of our mother 562 years ago, which is why they've been searching. And these are the same Saracens, right? And who is on the other side of the war? Jeremiah 2. For my people have committed two evils, verse 13. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Is Israel a servant? Well, they sure want to make you a perpetual slave, eternal, never ceasing, continuing forever in future time. We weighing in all and singular the premises with due meditation, and noting that since we had formerly by other letters of ours granted among other things free and ample faculty, so do whatever you want, King Alfonso, invade, search out, capture, vanquish, subdue all these Nagas in Nagaville, all these enemies of our Jupiter and our Zeus, wherever they are, all these enemies of our Ham, because Zeus is Ham, they say. Now you see why they moved with permission of the Pharaoh and Ham and Kush, right? How do you get a whole map full of a maxim and not have to invade and conquer and vanquish? Charles, man, I got a real question for you, man. How do you get a whole map of a maxim? Oh, we're talking Rome, right? The conquerors, Rome. Charles, how do you get a whole map looking like this? I can't make this stuff up. Ham, no Shem. Shem don't exist now. Israel don't exist, right? A maximum is Africa, man, right? All this is Africa to them. All this is Africa. All this is Atlantis. Just know that North and South America belong to Ham, right? You don't get no hijack perspective like this without invading, searching out, capturing, and vanquishing and subduing all these Nagas who are the lost tribes of Israel now. But Israel and the Moabites been at war. More on more. Yeah, man, you don't get no creation like this without an invasion over and over again. And it's just a document that's sealing the deal, sealing the fate, hundreds of years before the treaties of peace and friendship. By the time the so-called whites enter the picture, man, they come in as slaves. Now wanting freedom, Declaration of Independence. They want independence from black King George and King James and King Charles and all these other Negro nigger kings, right? But they want to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery, continuing forever in future time slavery, never ceasing slavery, eternal slavery, perpetual. And to apply and appropriate to himself and his successors the kingdoms, dukedoms, counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods, to convert them to his or their use and profit. So they're making profit off of your kingdom. What kingdom? The same kingdom they said is right here at India Superior. The same king, the same prince you've been missing in Hosea 3. The same king they're saying is connected with this fountain of youth. Kingdoms, right? To apply to his successors. Apply to his successors. Apply to his successors. Where have you heard that talk before? This perpetual forked tongue before. America, Native of America, originally applied to the originals, copper-colored races found here by the European, but now applied to their successors. Apply to their success. I just want to get you on this wave so we see clearly. Apply to their successors is the same as applied to their descendants. This is the same document in short. They now applied all your things, your stuff, your Khan. They took your Khan. They took your priesthood. There's no more Khan. But HaWah done told you you're going to go all this time without a Khan because you've been sitting solitary many days without a king. Before the children of Israel returned and seek HaWah and David, the priest king, because he got the drop on the fountain, the same fountain, the fountain of living water that HaWah says, "You forsaken me." Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Why? Because they took your kingdoms, dukedoms, counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, movable and immovable goods. They took all your things. That's why you're spoiled. They converted your stuff to their profit. That's why you're spoiled. They possess your islands, your lands, your harbors, and your seas. That's why you're spoiled. They've applied to their successors, Managa. They've found you here, and these Europeans applied to their successors. They applied your your thing, descendants that could now just be born here, and it's all good. They get your title, they get your stuff now applied to the descendants. Apply to the descendants. Apply to the descendants. Apply and appropriate to himself and his successors. I know it's a tough breath of air to breathe, man. It's a tough breath of air to breathe. You know, I want to dig on some more perspective around this Papal Bull, Doomed Diverses. I definitely want to look a little into this document here from ncronline.org. I'll leave it for you in the drop chatter. Disastrous doctrine had papal roots, bodies on bodies, in Kalalus. Scholars say the doctrine of discovery holds immense importance in world history. They say it resulted in a disaster and genocide for native people. We're just talking about the Nagas in Nagaville. But that is, its legacy remains largely overlooked. According to Stephen Newcomb, a columnist for Indian Country Today and co-founder of the Indigenous Law Institute, what became known as the Doctrine of Discovery originated from a series of papal bulls issued in the era following the Crusades. The first bull of consequence was issued in 1436 and entitled Romanus Pontifex. He said it concerned the concession of the right of dominion. Whoa, right? Because they're just saying they're going to take your what? Kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, and dominions. Dominion is your kingdom, man. I mean, it's your power, right? You got dominion over your neighborhood. Huh? Are you dominant? They took your dominance. Of the Guanches people in the Canary Islands, which was taken over by the Crown of Castile, a medieval state in the Iberian Peninsula. The bull, right? The Baphomet bull marked the first time the papacy, quote, made it look as though no one was living there. So now you in India Superior, and they got to make all this look like no one's living there. Even though in 1530, they're letting you know who's right there. Prester John and his tribes that's taken 6 baths in a fountain of youth. How can no one be living here, guys? How can no one be living here in Nagaville? How can no one be living here? What are you mapping out then? How can no one be living here when you try to take the head off the Saracen or the Israelite, the royal? And if this is what the royals are looking like, then you got to get them 1800 Indian pictures out your head, bone. Anyone showing you just pictures of Indians in 1800s and 1900s, they're not connecting you to the kingdom. And how can you genealogy your way into a kingdom if they took your kingdom? That means this land has order. David will rise again. And, you bring your genealogy to Khandrop, David will QUM. We're going to do a dismount into this QUM dalini after we get some more perspective. But I just wanted to bring this document up, and it's going to give you some more, thought pattern as we meditate, with due meditation on this Doom Diverses. 1452, the Papal Bull Doom Diverses instructed the Portuguese crown, right? Because the Portuguese crown is the one that, this is where this monument is. This is a Portuguese monument. This is a Portuguese monument in Portugal. You could just type in Prester John Portugal monument. Prester John Memorial. We gotta dig on that now. Nelson Mandela. That's a lot of Prester John popping up. Images. Alright. And we're in Portugal, my naga. This is what the top looks like. And the bottom is this part. So this part that says in memory Prester John is right here at this bottom right here. Con. And they're going to give you their, flow into Prester John. The legend of Prester John sparked the exploration of Asia and Africa from the 12th century to the 17th century. What? Did they teach you this in nigga school? Black History Month? That's searching for this brother. Did a black man discover the founding youth, right? Searching for this so-called black man is what sparked off the entire investigation. This is what sparked off everything to do with this crusades, everything to do with all this stuff. All their so-called exploration is the invasion of Asia. Where's that? Which one? Which one, my nigga? Which Asia? So just know that this is what popped it off, and who's looking for them? 1500s, 1558, King James, colonized, all that stuff. Hudson Bay Company, London Company, look it up. They own these patents. They did this to own the latitude and longitude. Look up these treaties, this Rainbow Coalition, all this stuff they hijacking, man. Man, we can't make this stuff up. You get it, man, and it sickens me to my stomach, man. But this is when they tried to make this, what they say, seem like no one was there. They made it look as though no one was living there. So now they call you savages, you this, you that. They made it seem like no one was rocking out, right? And no one was rocking out. This is what a hijack do. We discovered this because no one was there. Wow. The doctrine of discovery, while not mentioned by name, was given a legitimatizing stamp. Chief Justice John Marshall ruling stated, on the discovery of this immense continent, the great nations of Europe were eager to appropriate to themselves so much of it as they could respectively acquire. Its vast extent offered an ample field to the ambition and enterprise of all looking for the priest king, cities of gold, and the character and religion of its inhabitants afforded an apology for considering them as a people over whom the superior genius of Europe, who's a European, might claim an ascendancy. The potentates The potentates of the old world found no difficulty in convincing themselves that they made ample compensation to the inhabitants of the new by bestowing on them civilization and Christianity. Dodge on that hijack. In exchange for the unlimited independence, who did they need independence from, man? But as they were all in pursuit of nearly the same object, it was nearly what object, right? We're talking about the present John. It was nearly, or it was necessary in order to avoid conflicting settlements and consequent war with each other to establish a principle which all should acquire as the law. Whose law? By which the right of acquisition, which they all asserted should be regulated as between themselves. This principle was the discovery, because nobody's there, right? Gave title to the government by whose subjects or by whose authority it was made against all other European governments, which title might be consummated by possession. The ruling maintained that Native Americans referred to in this decision as fierce savages. Oh, violent Nagas, dragons, right? The conquered had the right to occupy land but not full sovereignty. Why wouldn't you by right have your sovereignty? By law, be natural. It stipulated that tribes were dependent on the federal government. Yeah, man. Let's get some more of this drop. I just want to dip and dodge and, dig on a couple things, man. This is a cool little exhibition in Rome, digging on the original Papal Bull. Let's see what we got here. Ahab again to medicine power, man. Y'all dig on it. Surf the wave. And let's see what we got here with this exhibition show, man. It's, for the dismount.
That could be read in the Papal Bull, with which Pope Boniface VIII called the first Jubilee in history in 1300. And the Antiquarium Hobbit is also the name of the exhibition in Rome reviewing the history of the Jubilees, coinciding with the extraordinary Holy Year of Mercy. There are more than 500 documents that normally guard the Vatican Library, the Numismatic Museum of Zecca, and the Polygraph Institute of Italy. During the first Jubilees, pilgrims should visit the basilicas of St. Peter and St. Paul and absolve their sins in order to obtain
Marco Polo,
the plenary indulgence. For a man of the Middle Ages, being able to achieve the forgiveness of sins was fundamental, because all life was seen from the perspective of conquering happiness after death. That's why people would make these dangerous journeys, traveling great distances. The star of the show is the original Papal Bull convening of the First Jubilee, but you can also find books, stamps, paintings, coins, maps of Rome at the time. There are even television documentaries on how life was in the Eternal City during the Holy Year of 1950. Just look at this medallion. It contains fragments of laurel leaves of the crown of Dante. The author of the Divine Comedy was one of the most illustrious pilgrims in the First Jubilee of the year 1300.
And Dante also had a lot of drop about this tree of life we got to dig on. Let's go.
Documents can also be viewed from far away as well, as the website has prepared for this occasion. Of Mercy. There are more than 5.
Yeah, man. I see a Naga with a turban, like a white turban on over here, man, Papal Bulldog, man. Dog-headed tribes. Sinus of Fala. It's all making sense. Let's get a little more about the doctrine of discovery and, see what it is, from these guys' perspective, man. For the dismount.
I think we always wondered why did they think it was right or just to do what they did was, to take our lands and to push us off our lands and try to eliminate us as a people. And And we discovered this doctrine of discovery. This kind of made things understandable as to where they got their directions from. When Columbus landed, and he went back and he reported, and they said then, the leaders, the Vatican was the most powerful voice in the world at that time. A papal bull, 1493, 1 year later. If there are no Christian nations in this new land you have discovered, I declare those lands to be empty. Terra nullius, very old Roman law. And that's how they made the lands empty, and that's why they say they discovered them, because they're empty, because there's no Christians, there's no Zeus, there's no Christ of Ophir, Hijack City. That have been exercised in Africa, India, Europe. Further, if there are people there and they are not Christians, they do not have a right of title to land. They have only the right of occupancy. So you've been there for thousands of years, and now you don't got no right, no sovereignty, because you don't rock with their Zeus. Hijack City. From our perspective, the same right as a rabbit running on the ground, or a turkey, or a deer, or a buffalo, or an Indian. Wow. They do not have a right of title to land. 1823, Supreme Court Justice John Marshall adjudicating the case, Johnson versus McIntosh. Two white men arguing over Ohio Indian land. He says, you boys have it all wrong. Don't you understand? This was settled long ago. They don't have a right of title to land. And he moved that principle into U.S. federal law, 1823. The doctrine of discovery became the doctrine of law. So this papal bull became law right here in America. So if it's popping off for them, giving them clarity, it should damn sure pop off for you. Today, Christian. This is a document that got you as a prisoner of war. Let us find the truth. Let us know that. Let us know the truth a long time ago. This is the document, the proven document that you're a POW, man. Not no slave. Is Israel a homeborn slave? You are a prisoner of war, and you are popping off in Nagarville. Christian doctrine, specific. Wasn't Muslim doctrine. Wasn't Jewish doctrine. Christian. Oh, nah, man. It's a Psalms 83 Confederacy. Psalms 83 Confederacy. Like I said, for the dismount, man, we got, a couple things. One, let's just jump into it, man. Let's talk a couple of these secret codes, and then talk some QUM dalini. How we looking? How we look? Oh, we good. We good. Beautiful, beautiful dismount for the trifecta. And we back in spirit science, man. We did it, man. He come with that thoughthism hijack. He's gonna come with them reflections. But we can surely surf the wave. Let's get it.
Before we get started, I want
fair use in your caboose, Bo, man. You already know, man. Copyright 107. Let's go.
to share with you this special chakra meditation. If you haven't already got your download of it, you can use the link below to get it ASAP. Cheers and enjoy the video.
Lego.
When we develop the heart chakra, we begin to influence our surroundings with our spiritual presence. When we develop the throat chakra, we influence our country with our presence. When we develop the crown chakra, we influence the world without doing anything. Hidden in the chakra system we all know and love, there is a secret code that will help us to ascend to higher consciousness much faster. Recalling the concept of the mirror wall or the half step, generally anything.
I just want to get that, from a dragonfly perspective, man. That's pretty interesting. When we develop the heart chakra, we begin to influence our surroundings with our spiritual presence. When we develop the throat chakra, we influence our country with our presence. When we develop the crown, we influence the world without doing anything. The crown chakra resonates at that 432 hertz, and when we promote vibrational awareness, we promote our nagas becoming aware. That's the influence, that's the wave, without us having to seemingly do anything. It's the frequency that's doing all the work. It's Ama Abba that's doing all the work. It's the frequency, you know what I'm saying? So Halal HaWah, for the vibration, you know what I'm saying? The shaper shapes in the vibration. The framer puts those ingredients together into a fine meal so that you can fortify your kingdom. Ama Abba, framer, shaper. And the influence we're having on the entire earth plane and Nagaville, all across the earth plane. Nagaville is all across the earth plane, man. We influence Nagaville through frequency, 432. And we put that frequency out, we can fall back and let the frequency do the work. Let that vibration do the work. Shalom.
Hidden in the chakra system we all know and love, there is a secret code that will help us to ascend to higher consciousness much faster. Recalling the concept of the mirror wall or the half step, generally speaking, despite their existence, you won't really know that they're there until you've mastered all of the lower centers to a certain degree. So for the most part, when you're growing up, you're usually in the 3 lower chakras like we talked about earlier. You may be in all of them at once, or maybe mostly in one and partly in the others, or it could be constantly moving, some kind of blend or combination of all 3. Interestingly though, this pattern is true not just of a person, but of a country, a planet, a galaxy, or anything living, as everything alive arguably has its own chakras, even Mother Earth herself. At any level of existence, this same pattern of movement occurs. Let's take a country like the United States, for example. This is a brand new country in comparison to the old world. Compared to other countries such as those in Europe or India or even China, modern America is just a wee little baby.
Whoa. Back this shit up, man. I've been over here. Spirit science, man. Man, the hijack ain't never late. First of all, man, hold up, man. First of all, let me go back. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Where they do it? I can't believe what I'm seeing, man.
About earlier.
I can't believe what I'm
seeing.
seeing.
Maybe in all of them at once, or maybe mostly in one and partly in the others. Or it could be constantly moving, some kind of blend or combination of all 3.
Yeah.
Interestingly though, this pattern is true not just of a person, but of a country, a planet, a galaxy, or anything living.
So they're going to talk about the birth of a country. Now America's this baby, little baby, wee, wet, wah. America's the old world, fool. You can't make us a binky baby. You going crazy, fool. America's not new. This is this hijack city, this Tartaria. This got to be some new melting pot where white people help black people build kingdoms. Shut up, man. Get this shit out of here, man. You got no receipts, man. This ain't no new land. This is a takeover. And you're celebrating it with guns and tanks and all kind of hijacks.
Living, as everything alive arguably has its own chakras, even Mother Earth herself.
But notice they put the earth in the Naga's hands. But you ain't never seen no water curving to a damn bone.
At any level of existence, this same pattern of movement occurs. Let's take a country like the United States, for example. This is a brand new country in comparison.
They put a binky in baby America. Ain't that some shit? Like Jon Stewart, America isn't natural. Nah, man, America's tribal. We natural by law. We ain't no baby with a binky. This is what you want us to be. Some brand new Milton Pot. Hijack City.
To the old world. Compared to other countries such as those in Europe or India or even China, modern America is just a...
This is India superior. Not no little wee baby with his tanky and his oil taking the blood from Amma's veins. Blowing up Nagas with his tanks.
Wee little baby. And one that has largely ignored the wisdom and spiritual advances of others, such as the First Nations people, for a long time.
Dodger on that, Hodge.
Up until the 1950s, the vast majority of people in America were in one of the three lower chakras. Not everybody, of course, but most. Their biggest concerns in life revolved around power, money, materialism, houses, cars, sex, food, especially with survival aspects, making sure they've stored up enough money to feel secure. It was a very materialistic world that set the stage for the consumer culture of the 1950s America that was outlined in such great classics of American literature: Revolutionary Road, Death of a Salesman, Slaughterhouse-Five, as well as the poetry of Robert Lowell, who referred to the period as the tranquilized 50s. You know, the best phrase about this whole thing that summarizes the situation perfectly, and to a certain extent echoes the world today, comes from the comic book Watchmen by Alan Moore. When visiting a seemingly war-torn New York City, seeing protesters stealing TVs and being consumed by their own consumer culture, the character Night Owl asks the comedian, "Whatever happened to the American dream?" And his friend looks at him dead in the eye, laughs, and says, "What happened? It came true. You're looking at it." But something did happen. In the 1960s, the act of changing one's consciousness began to rapidly alter what was thought to be normal. We had the first psychedelic revolution, and while the world's governments quickly put the hammer down, the damage, or blessing, was done. People began to practice meditation and enter into their own higher centers. The movement was spearheaded by many artists, such as the Beatles, who engaged in transcendental meditation when recording the famous White Album while staying at an ashram in India. They, along with many other artists, such as Jimi Hendrix, even made use of LSD to produce wild and innovative periods of...
Come on, man. You gonna put Jimmy up and put the LSD on him? Oh, Black Druggy. Come on, man. You're talking about a musical genius. He put a lot of his music into frequencies, harmonic frequencies, just like the Beatles, 432. You know, they were all into the frequency, man. And spirit science, man. It's been a minute, man. And we see clearly, man. Let's go.
Of creativity that changed music and counterculture forever.
Let's go.
Now, please understand, America was not the first to do this. If you go to an old country like India, Tibet, and certain parts of China, you'll find that at some point in their history, they also moved into their higher centers. They, as a country, moved through the mirror wall, as many legendary yogis such as Yogananda have described. While India may struggle financially, they have a tremendous wealth of spirituality. To that end, you can observe that there is a difference between moving into the higher centers as a country rather than as a species. It isn't really a fully enlightened state, but rather a more conscious one of their individual collective. As they moved through these higher centers, they would have eventually come to another mirror wall at the crown, keeping the focus to this new realm and everything that they have discovered before. A funny thing about mirror walls, once a person, family, group, city, or country moves beyond the first one, they are never the same again. Once they know that there's something more to life than what they have previously thought, they'll spend the rest of their life trying to figure out how to get back to those upper centers, even if they had just a fleeting experience of those higher worlds. In terms of a person or a country, once it gets above the first half step, moving into the heart, the sound currents, the geometries, and the spiritual nature of things, what sometimes happens is that they lose their concern about the lower centers of consciousness. They sort of stop seeming to care about their physical side as much, like whether their house is nice or even if they have a house anymore. They're more concerned about the information, their learning, and their experiences that
They're starting to get the drop. Starting to build Joy World. Forget about the big fancy house. Let's buy the land and build the house. Starting to see clearly.
they're having in relationships with nature and each other in higher consciousness. You see it all the time with hippies, but now I'm on a tangent. So sometimes, when you look at these older countries, they seem to be physically almost devastated because their whole focus is trying to find out what reality is like on these higher levels. Ultimately, they begin to crave more connection, more communication, more family over material wealth. Once a country actually moves through the final mirror wall into the 8th chakra together, which is very difficult, mind you, their main concern is what happens after death, which often means ego death.
Dodge the hijack. Ain't about after death, not when you got the water, the fountain, man. Let's get a couple more minutes for the dismount.
The next level of life, and they reset to the root of a new, higher cycle. So again, the country isn't concerned with physically dying. It's not like some mass suicide or anything weird like that. Rather, it's about what's next for everything that they've learned in their journey so far, the next cycle beginning. We might think of this in relationship to, say, ancient Egypt. Branches of culture were created, wisdom was taught to foreigners, and trade was established. New cultures and new societies formed with different groups of the world merging and expanding together. Ancient Egypt essentially died, or passed into new cycles, and new worlds were born as a result, many of which adopted or integrated and even transformed the ancient Egyptian teachings into something new. So, how might this relate with us personally, or even looking at us as a species? Well, even though on many levels humanity as a whole is still operating in the lower centers, there are aspects of us that are moving into a higher awareness and beyond the crown. We are in a profound age of information right now. As we evolve as a species, expanding our understanding of everything, our new understanding is changing the way that we live physically. Ultimately, this is the quote-unquote death stage beyond the crown, and a rebirth of the root all over again. Modern technology gives us a glimpse of this in a profound way. The Industrial Revolution a few hundred years ago gave birth to a wide array of new advances for humanity, but the technology was still in its infancy, and we didn't really know what we were doing to the world in a big picture kind of way. For running engines and motors from engineering plants to the invention of automobiles, we burned and refined oil in mass to stimulate the world's economy in tremendous ways. For a long time, this was a really great thing for us as a species. It connected us and created a new level of society.
We were already connected. This is Hijack City trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to form their connection on top of our connection. All you're seeing is Hijack City popping off. We're connected to dots.
However, with all that we know today, we are now seeing that perhaps drilling so much oil and plowing down rainforests and polluting the oceans may not be the best thing for anyone,
Hijack,
or even the natural world.
Really, Hijack.
With this new expansive perception,
Really?
It sends us out of the crown and back to the root with new information than we had before, and new questions are asked. How can we transform our current technology to be sustainable? How can we birth a new paradigm for all of life on Earth? There's no question that we've peaked at the life cycle for the fossil fuel industry, which will have no choice but to transition sooner than later. And the more people that get on board with this, the faster we all move towards a sustainable, cleaner future for all of us. This is just one microcosmic example of a larger human story, but it's a rather important one. If we can see the pattern of awakening and physical change, and see how it relates both personally and collectively, it makes it smoother for all of us to let go of old ways of thinking and move into a higher...
Sounds good, man. That was just to prepare you for the quadruple dismount. Shabbat Shalom to my Nagas. Now he's going to talk about the Kundalini. And when he says Kundalini, I just want us to have a focus on the K's and the Q's in this language stuff being interchangeable. And we're really just talking Kun. When we say QUM, we're coming from the Hebrew verb kun, like come here, come, rise, stand up, come, man, come here, man. Kun generally means to rise up, right? What it said in Jeremiah, David, whom I will raise up, whom I will kun, wah, or stand. When you're talking about making a stand, you're talking about a QUM, like a Tecumseh. Tecumseh. It's all about making a QUM, making a rise. So when the Kundalini is rising, it is Khan, which is how you know that the Khan or the Kun is the Quam or the Kun. The Kun is the Kun. The Kun is to rise up, like, straight up getting from a prostrate position or a kneeling position or a sitting position, or it may indicate the start of a journey like a Exodus, ruling of the people. Hey, man. Start of a journey is a Kun. Kun, Kun, Kun. Ain't that Yapa? So when we talk about Kun, we're just talking about what they would call a feminine noun, Kuma, or meaning height of people of a tree. All right. They got feminine noun, uprightness means a rising up. Okay. Substance, existence, right? Frame or shape of flow. Masculine noun. So we talking makom. Hey, man. So you see frame or shaper, man. Mama, papa. You know what I'm saying? And generally, we're just talking about rising up or standing when we comb. But specifically, we're talking about the start of a journey. Let's go, man. So when you talk of Kundalini, your energy is rising from a start, right? There's a start where they say at the base of the spine. Let's read about it, or let's fall back and zan to it. Kundalini, rising, Quam, Kun. Let's go.
Chakras, prana, and energy pathways, there's one major thing we have to cover: the coiled snake itself, the divine feminine Shakti force.
Coiled snake or the twisting dragon, right? I mean, just for the dismount. Just for the dismount. Etymologies, Seraph. Oh, he's talking the burning ones, the Dracons, right? The Seraph, the fiery flying serpent. I never seen a flying snake. Have you? The flying dragons are everywhere. Game of Thrones, this movie, that movie, King Arthur, that, this, that, The Hobbit. Everyone's talking about the dragon, not a flying snake. The burning ones, it burned. Ouch. Hebrew, Seraphim, Isaiah 6, singing holy, holy. Got it. Leviathan, O Levi, in the book of Job, is HaWah's plaything, HaWah's dragon. Suddenly, Leviathan becomes what in etymology? It goes from HaWah's dragon. Can you put a hook through it? Can you control this dragon like me? It goes from this Job flow. Suddenly, it becomes Satan to the Christian. Sometimes regarded as a form of Satan. Satan is an adversary, which got us asking a question: did Leviathan sink Atlantis? For the dismount. Did Leviathan sink Atlantis? Is this why he's there, Satan? We know Atlantis was sunk. Was it sunk by a big-ass dragon? Uh-oh. HaWah's dragon, that is. HaWah's dragon. They say a coiling snake. Or we talking about a turning, winding, twisting, right? Serpent's coil is a twisting. They say the crooked serpent Leviathan, not crooked. Twisting dragon, not crooked serpent. Like he got a bad attitude. This is HaWah's dragon. He is a twisting dragon, a coiling dracon. We're not talking about no big snake. Sea monster, sea serpent. We're talking about a fire breathing dragon. Twisting, coiling. Let's go. Yeah, man. Because once you understand that, then you know what the etymology of a dragon is. In their etymology, which is connected to the dirk pi, or to see, dirkestai, or to see clearly. So the kundalini combing up so that you can see clearly, popping out your third eye, right? Popping out your crown so you can see clearly. That's a dragon, man. That's a dragon. These people that see clearly. Yeah. Yeah, man. Then in the script, they try to confuse the jackal. Now you got the dog heads coming in, right? The tannines and the tans, remember that? Tan is jackal, tannin is dragon. Let's go, man. They're just trying to be confusing. We're just talking about the dragon. To see clearly is all we saying. And you need that energy to rise so you can see clearly. Whether you fasting, whether you just KTC, and that's naturally going to cause us to raise our frequency, our kundalini, or kundalana. Kum, rise, da, the door. Raise through this vortex, through this portal, the door. Kum, through the door. La, get your shepherd's staff, get your scepter. Kum, raise through the door, get your scepter. Na, my naga, you are the seed, the noon. Na is the noon, the seed. Kum, get your raise in frequency. You are rising again like Dawi through the door. Dawi, door, la, shepherd staff. Get your scepter back. Get your land back. La, na, my naga, you are the seed. The naga, the seed, is getting the scepter back, the head, not the tail, through the door as you rise. Let's go. For the dismount.
Or as it's best known in the West, the Kundalini Serpent. In yogic philosophy, the Kundalini...
And they pop off with the dragon, not a snake. This ain't no snake, fool. This is never-ending story, lucky dragon. Chinese dragon. So we can't make this stuff up. The sad thing is they're gonna try to revert back to snake when they're clearly showing you a rainbow dragon. I will put my rainbow in the sky, my bow in the sky, let you know I ain't gonna flood the place no more. Talking the book of Genesis. The rainbow dragon, the Quetzalcoatl, Joshua flow, HaWah. So your dragon has to rise. Cool. Wow.
Kundalini is a manifestation of the cosmic divine feminine known as Shakti, and is often said to be located in or around the
divine feminine. That's Ama. So you gotta connect to Ama, right? Through the door with her arms up. Big mama with that breath. Let's go.
Root chakra, solar plexus, or at the base of the spine. When cultivated with care, an open heart, and disciplined tantric practice, a Kundalini awakening can bring tremendous spiritual power and liberation. It's safe to say that anyone who has delved into yoga or Hindu philosophy at any point has probably come across this idea. The history behind this vital force, though, is not as well known. The phrase Kundalini was originally associated with deities in the Shaktism sect of Hinduism before the 9th century, when it was adopted into the Hatha Yoga system, where it was likened to an energy force that could be awakened with postures and meditation. The word itself is mentioned in the Upanishads and is an
Kum, da, la, na. Talking that Hebrew.
Adjective that meant circular or annular.
Or spiral.
But it isn't until the 12th century Rajatarangini text that it's likened to a snake being coiled. In the Mahabharata epic, there is a Naga, old school serpent deities, called Kunda.
Now they're back to the snakes, right? But they just showed you a dragon. And they said it's likened to a coil, the conductor. Shout out to Natural by Law.
The Naga, old school serpent deities, called Kunda, whose name is thought to have meant bowl or container, which probably had a linking effect.
Love to Ms. D. This dragon is the vessel or the bowl or the living ruach that is contained, this container. All that is from the alchemy drop. The alchemical dragon, alchemical serpent. We're talking the container, right? Come on, man. Come on, man. We're talking the dragon. We're talking seeing clearly. Man. We're talking the container. Right? Because you got an alchemical serpent. So whatever the serpent is can't be the dragon because you have an alchemical serpent and an alchemical dragon. The serpent, we got it before, represents impersonal nature. So that's artificial, AI, unconscious, synchronicity, bursting into consciousness, singularity. They just want to burst into singularity, right? Yeah, we're talking androgyny, we're talking thoth. Let's go. Brings everything to life, but also kills everything. That's the serpent. That's not the dragon, though, because alchemy has a separation. That the dragon represents the philosophical quicksilver, unlike ordinary mercury, unlike thoth, man. This is mysterious to them. It's unknown to them. So you must be talking to the creator. And from this quicksilver, the living spirit can be extracted. Now they say the dragon does not represent the living spirit, but how? It is the vessel in which the spirit is contained. We're talking bowls and containers. So this drakan has to represent that ruach. It might not be the ruach, but perhaps it's the container of this breath. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's different ways to look at it. It is the vessel in which the spirit is contained. The vessel in which the spirit is contained. And we're just talking about bowls and containers. Let's get that again.
12th century Rajatarangini text that it's likened to a snake being coiled. In the Mahabharata epic, there is a Naga, old school serpent deities, called Kunda, whose name is thought to have meant bowl or container, which probably had a linking effect too. Later on, after being taken in by the Hatha yogis of the 16th century, Kundalini started to become used as a technical word to describe practices, rather than being an energy or God force itself. Our modern visualization of it as a snake, though, can be
back to the snake. And who are they getting this perspective from?
Attributed to the Indian spiritual teacher Eknath Easwaran, who translated the word as coiled power, saying that it was a force of
coiled power, spiral power, 9 flow, 432.
Of energy coiled at the base of the spine like a serpent.
We're talking spirals, man, not circles, right? Spirals. This is the drakan. Ama is popping off, man. Right up your chakra, right up her chakra.
Awakening the Kundalini force is said to open the chakras as it climbs the spine towards the crown, giving us great insight, knowledge, and psychic power as it moves through our body. And like the chakras themselves, everything from meditation and breathwork to yoga can serve to guide it into an awakening.
So the rising dragon, man, that's how it's popping off in you as you are connecting this. How do we know we're going to connect all this, you know what I'm saying, all this water, man? How do we know we're going to have the water? That drakan is rising.
Coiled at the base of the spine like a serpent. Awakening the Kundalini force is said to open the chakras as it climbs the spine towards the crown, giving us great insight, knowledge, and psychic power as
Blue,
it
purple,
moves through our
red.
body. And like the chakras themselves, everything from meditation and breathwork to yoga can serve to guide it into an awakening. Each chakra is said to contain special characteristics, and with proper training, moving the Kundalini through each chakra can help express or open those aspects of yourself.
Oh, damn. Now they riding the dragon. This ain't no snake they riding. This damn sure ain't no snake flying through the clouds, going through hoops. This is a rainbow dragon. So stop playing with us. The Drakan is on the rise. When they talk Kundalini, they're talking the dragon in you. Frequency, energy, vibration that's rising. When you KTC by default as a tribe, you start to Kum. Kum Dalana. Through that door to get your scepter. Because you are the seed. That is the head. You are not a homeborn slave.
Yourself, revealing the inner worlds of the divine forces and consciousness of the soul and spirit. It's worth noting, though, that many Hindu texts caution against waking it up too early or without a guide who can help you through it.
You see, he has the eye of Ra just at the podium, so he's flagging his duality philosophy.
As an awakening too soon can cause an imbalanced energy field and disrupt the flow and have some weird side effects, too.
Now, who are they talking about? The Naga or them? Trying to tap into our frequency. Are they having some weird side effects?
Hindu tradition often tells us that in order to integrate the spiritual energy that the Kundalini brings properly, a period of careful purification and strengthening of the body and nervous system is required beforehand. While a guide can be helpful, you yourself need to be prepared by doing things like breathwork and meditation, exercise and eating healthy, and visualization to ensure
living well with Brother Nature. And, for the Naga, we got to take care of ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Keep our code because we popping off. And, you want to be able to handle this energy, frequency, and vibration. You got to KTC and you got to be in control.
ensure a healthy awakening. But above all, like the Merkaba, the whole thing must be approached with an open and full heart. Many gurus and practitioners who have successfully awakened the Kundalini energy have described the feeling as a distinct electrical or heat current running along the spine or a cool breeze being felt along the tips of the fingers, almost as if you're floating. The Divine Life Society have said that during an awakening, supersensual visions appear before the mental eye of the aspirant. New worlds with indescribable wonders and charms unfold themselves before the yogi. Planes after planes reveal their existence and grandeur to the practitioner.
Planes after planes, not planets after planets.
And the yogi gets divine knowledge, power, and bliss in increasing degrees when Kundalini passes through chakra after chakra, making them to bloom in all their glory.
Do you start to see the planes after planes? More lands beyond the pole, my Naga?
In our world today, many people are starting to awaken this energy within them naturally as our planetary frequency is increasing. But many do so too soon. Funnily enough, mental problems associated with the practice of Kundalini work have become so common that there's even a Kundalini syndrome diagnosis in psychology. People like Turner and Barnhouse outlined
only the hijack can come up with some stuff like this.
bunch of psychological difficulties appearing in people engaged in intensive spiritual practice in 1995. Later on, research in fields like transpersonal psychology found patterns of sensory, motor, mental, and affective symptoms associated with people going through a Kundalini awakening and coined the term Kundalini syndrome. Now, we're not saying it's dangerous or anything like that. The Kundalini energy is a part of you and entirely natural. So like the chakras, there's no need to be afraid of it. Many of the psychologists diagnosing mental
Don't be afraid of your dragon. Every Naga got a dragon.
issues or episodes associated with Kundalini work are simply not familiar with the Eastern systems and don't understand what's going on. So they call it.
And knowing that your energy is a dragon and comparing that with this guardian angel, guardian dragon, you're talking energy frequency. So you're really being guarded by energy that is within you. You're guarding yourself, man.
A syndrome and misdiagnose it. Like plant medicine, a Kundalini awakening can purge much of the stagnant and negative energy within the nadis and meridians, resulting in a sometimes violent purge. But this should be seen more as a flushing out of the old to make room for the new, more than a syndrome or issue. It's even believed in New Age groups that all living things have a Kundalini, as it's a form of dormant spiritual energy that connects us to the universal cosmic flow. Following Drunvalo's account, even the Earth has her own Kundalini. Drunvalo tells us that every 13,000 years, a sacred and secret event takes place that changes everything. Mother Earth's Kundalini energy emerges from its resting place in the planet's core and moves like a snake across the surface of our world to work
like a dragon. So now you got these polar shifts, but we're talking electromagnetism. We're talking about these vortexes shifting around. Why does Naga's got to be set up over there in Russia, set up over there in Peru, set up over there in QUM?
to wherever the next spiritual center will be. Once it was at the home in ancient Lemuria, and then it moved to Atlantis, then to the Himalayan mountains of India.
Oh, come on, man. We saw your Eye of Ra. We knew you were coming.
Surface of our world to wherever the next spiritual center will be. Once it was at the home in ancient.
So once it's an ancient Mu. Right? This is where the Tartarian wants us to have our heritage be from only, right? But we already know that we are in Nagaville and that this is all connected above and beneath the water to what they call North America. And then it moved to Atlantis, they want to tell us, or did Atlantis hijack Mu and create artificial vortexes, artificial grids, and run their pyramids on 440 the same way Bell Labs and everyone copied to this very day, so that they can get rid of the background noise or the vibration of HaWah, that 432 resonance. They tell on themselves, oh, it's supposed to be Tartarian now, right? But this is also Lemuria. Let's go.
Ancient Lemuria, and then it moved to Atlantis.
Then it moved to Atlantis, or were these artificial islands set up by Poseidon and Atlantis, or Atlas, the rapist who would rape young girls. Who's that? Who's that in history? With a big smile on his face. Where does the shepherd syphilis come from? Who was the god of Atlantis? Oh, we're back to Mercury again. Apollo, right? Thoth, got it.
Then to the Himalayan mountains of India and Tibet. And with every relocation, it changed our understanding of what spirituality means to us as a species, including a masculine or feminine dominance in our overall understanding.
We know it's framer and shaper. Dodge your own damn idea.
Recently, with much difficulty, the world serpent moved from Tibet to the Andes Mountains of Chile and Peru. Some people...
That's where they're looking for the cities of gold, high above the Andes, right? Uh-oh, they came right here to America.
People even believe it to be residing along with the sacral chakra of the earth inside Lake Titicaca. One thing can be certain, though. Whenever the Kundalini moves, a huge paradigm shift often follows, which could be the secret reason or code behind many of the events going on in the world today.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, fall back, man. Hey, shout out to Spirit Science, man. Always good to surf the wave. Are you a homeborn slave? Is Israel a servant? Are you a perpetual slave forever? The young lions roared upon him and yelled. They made his land waste. His cities are burned without habitation, without an inhabitant. Also the children of Noph and Tahapanes have broken the crown of your head. Hast thou not procured this unto thyself, and that thou hast forsaken HaWah? How have you forsaken? You started playing the harlot with other powers when he led thee by the way. And now, what hast thou to do in the way of Egypt to drink the waters of Sihor? Or what hast thou to do in the way of Assyria to drink the waters of the river? Your own wickedness shall correct you. Your backsliding shall reprove you. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter that you have forsaken HaWah, your power, and that my fear is not in thee, says HaWah. For of old time I have broken your yoke and burst your bands. And you say, I will not transgress when upon every high hill and under every green tree, you wondrous plague, the harlot. This is why you in captivity, man. Yet I had planted you a noble vine. You were the noble man. But now you gone all this time without a king, right? You gone all this time, sitting solitary many days without a king. And now you return, seek the Creator, and you get your king back, which means you get your land back, but you are the nobles. But they went to war against you with the doctrine of discovery. Israel, we're talking Israel, Khan. You're the noble. We're talking Israel, Khan. You're the noble vine. Holy, a right seed. Seed. Noon. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine? Now you a stranger in your own land. That's that Deuteronomy 28. It don't mean you in a separate place. It means you became a stranger to the Creator. Now you're a stranger. Now the land is strange to you. You don't know where you are. You don't know you're in India Superior. You don't know that they've been searching for Prester John all this time.
Wow.
Why? For the dismount. Verse 22, Jeremiah 2. For though thou wish or wash thee with nitre, and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, says HaWah. How can thou say, I am not polluted, I have not gone after Baalim, Baal? See your way in the valley, know what you have done. I mean, you went after a strange power, my Nagas. You caught another daddy. You caught another ama. Thou art a swift dromedary traversing her ways, a wild ass used to the wilderness that snuffeth up the wind at her pleasure in her occasion. Who can turn her away? All they that seek her would not weary themselves. In her mouth they shall find her. Withhold thy foot from being unshod, and thy throat from thirst. But thou sayest, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers, and after them will I go. Man. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone, you're telling a stock, you're my daddy. You're telling a stone that thou hast brought me forth, for they have turned their back unto me and not their face. And in the times of their trouble they will say, arise and save us. And when you turn your back to the Creator, a lot of times that's when they're like, oh, face the east, yada, 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 but Jerusalem is the other way. You're turning your back to HaWah. But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise if they can save them. Save thee in the time of your trouble. Where's your false power? Where's that land? Where's Atlas now? Where's Thoth now, man? Where's your Isis now? Where's all these vanities? For according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah. Wherefore will you plead with me? You all have transgressed against me, says HaWah. In vain have I smitten your children. They receive no correction. Your own sword has devoured your prophets like a destroying lion. O generation, see you the word of HaWah. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore say my people, we are lords, we will come no more to thee. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me, days without number. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. Yet thou sayest, because I am innocent, surely his anger shall turn from me. Behold, I will plead with thee, because thou sayest, I have not sinned. Why gaddest thou about so much to change thy way? Thou also shalt be ashamed of Egypt. Oh, you thought Egypt was a beautiful thing, but now that you see clearly, it's just Atlantis, man. As thou were ashamed of Assyria, you're going to be ashamed of Atlantis. You're going to be ashamed of all this stuff. Yea, thou shalt go forth from him, and thy hands upon thy head. And HaWah has rejected, for HaWah has rejected your confidences, and thou shalt not prosper in them. This is when you're being led off to captivity. This is when you're still in captivity. This is when your exilarchs are popping off. Jeremiah, son of King Saul, brother of Jonathan. Yea, thou shalt go forth from him, and your hands upon your head, for HaWah has rejected your confidences. So now you a slave. It wasn't them that put you in perpetual slavery. They took your captivity that HaWah put you in, and they capitalized off of it and formed their doctrine of discovery, which only meant that these were non-Christian lands, enemies of their Zeus. And they made your captivity, because of your harlotry, perpetual to the corporation or the persons. And they applied to their successors or dependents your kingdoms, dukedoms, counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods, and converted them to their use and their profit. By their authority, the aforesaid Elefante justly and lawfully has acquired and possessed and doth possess these islands, these lands, India Superior, harbors of the seas, and they do of right belong and pertain to the said King Alfonso and his successors. Found here, these copper-colored races by the Europeans that look just like this with black faces, but now applied to the successors of these same Europeans born in America. And it starts like this, and the new face is still a part of the same confederacy. But we're waking up to the ancient love song. We ain't lost No more. Tribes of Israel ain't lost no more. Did the black man discover the fountain? Did the copper-colored Khan, preserve the water for the Naga? We'll pick it up right here as we start our journey. Shabbat up. Let's build our fence. Look out for the GoFundMe for Joy World. Let's build our fence with our 500 code keepers. Halal HaWah. Stay up. Suit up. Choose up. Drop nation.